joining me. Sorry if it's hard to hear. I'm outside and it's a gorgeous day. Really beautiful. But there's also a lot of yard work going on around me, so please forgive me. I just wanted to show you that I'm finished completely with the quilt that I made for my son. He asked for a quilt a couple years ago and I finally got it done. I finally got it all pieced together, and then I took it to Michelle Mariquin, who is amazing on the long arm, and she put all the detail with all the quilting in. So if you're not familiar with quilting, I used to think that a quilt was just a blanket, but quilting is actually the part where it sandwiches everything together in the front and the back, and that's with the batting in the middle. So she did all the quilting on her big gorgeous machine. All of these stars that are in there, all the clouds, the swirls going down the side. I just stepped on one of my kitties. So I'll tell you a story about this quilt. There's so much about it, and that's why I wanted to make a video, because it's just so long. There's so much to explain. First, I'll talk about the fabrics. Let's see. This is the same fabric that I used in his dad's quilt that he loves so much that's falling apart, and a lot of this same one has the same fabrics as his, so they'll both have quilts with the same kind of fabrics. And then my aunt, she didn't know whenever she gave me a bunch of her old vintage fabric that one of them was the year 2000, and that's also the year that my son was born. So it was perfect. And we put it into the quilt, and then I found this to kind of tie it all in together, and it worked really great. And a lot of this other fabric, this gingham was our tablecloth last year for Thanksgiving when we had family up. Well, friends, but they're like family. And then the rest of it is fabrics I found here and there, but the vintagey looking stuff like this, and a lot of the houses, the stuff that I put on the houses, and the blue in the windows, a lot of that is from my aunt's stash that she had from forever ago when she was going to make, well, I'm sure she sewed a lot of stuff, but she just gave me her extras, and part of it was a quilt that she had never finished before, and I used a lot of that fabric in that too. This one definitely. And these are all appliqued by me, and that just means that I cut out the shapes and then sewed them on. And then some of them are professional designs, like this one that I bought from Planet Applique, the little gas station. And so I'll point all of those out as I'm going. But as much as I love embroidery and as good as I like to think I am, I'm not that good yet. I am not professional design looking yet. So, alright, I'll tell you the story now. Alright, so in the year 2000, me and Trace's dad had gotten married, and we were in Oxnard. I was in Oxnard, he was in Port Hueneme, and there was literally just a piece of sand between our stations. I was in the Coast Guard and he was in the Navy. And when we got married, we moved up into the mountains into a little town called Casitas Springs, and that's where that house is. And this is a little pond called Lake Casitas. It's not really a pond, it's a big lake. And then the black are the roads. And Nye Road is the road that we lived off of, but this big long black road right there, that is Highway 101, I believe. I can't remember if it's PCH or Highway 101, it's been so long. So that's where we lived when he was born. Michelle put swirls in the water. Isn't that so cool? And the ships are Planet Applique designs as well. except I had to put in the military stuff. And then from there, Trace and I moved to Oregon, and we stayed with his Nana for a little while. And on the back of this quilt, it'll show you horses, and that's to represent when we stayed with Nana and Grandpa when they lived in Dexter when we first moved here. It would have thrown the quilt off balance to have another square or another thing, so I just chose to do that since we were only there for a few months. Okay, so then when we left there, we moved into Springfield, and we moved into apartments by Gateway Mall over off Oakdale Avenue. And the swing set is a Planet Applique design, and the first one is our apartments. Well, the first one over here is the playhouse, the clubhouse, and Trace loved playing at the clubhouse. We had his first birthday there. My mom was able to be there. It was really special, and he loved the swing set. So he was just a little bitty baby. And then from there, I know it doesn't really go in sequence, but I didn't really want that one under that one. So from there we moved, so we stayed in Springfield, but we moved out to a little town called Jasper. And we were technically still in Springfield, even though we were right next to the Jasper store. And we lived all the way at the top of the hill, all the way at the top of Wallace Creek Road. It ends, and then it goes up for even more, probably about 2 miles longer. And we lived in the house on the hill, and we had a pond we were up on the hill, but then on the other side of the property there was a pond down there. And we were right by the Jasper store, like I said. And this is the Mackenzie River, or not Mackenzie, Willamette River. This is the Willamette River, and this should have a bridge over it. There's a couple things that I'm going to need to add in with vinyl because I completely forgot, and 2 of those are actually bridges. This bridge is very prominent when you're going over it. It's a really pretty green bridge, so I'll have to fix that a little bit. But then from there, and we lived there with my dad and Joey and Jada, and we had so much fun there. So that was a lot of fun living there, and you know, having those kind of friendships and lifelong childrenness. They're my other children, so luckily they're still in our life, and I really love them. I feel really grateful. Okay, and then here, when we moved from there, we moved back into Springfield, into the town, and we moved over off of Astor Street. And I know the wording kind of looks funny. It's just really tight and needs to be trimmed still, but we lived over off of Astor Street and over by Dairy Queen. And my best friend and her daughter lived over here, and she worked at the clubhouse, and me and my dad and Trace lived over here. And so we would always go back and forth to see each other all the time, all day long, all week long, all month long. So we were always there, always together. So it's a really special place for us. And then from there, all of us, me, except for my dad passed away, me and Carrie and Soraya and Trace, we all moved out to the farmhouse. This is one of our favorite places we've ever got to live. And the farmhouse is still there. It's a little blue house with a red roof, and it's it's off of Center School Road in Halsey, which is on the opposite side of the freeway than the town of Halsey, but it's technically still Halsey. And here's Gap Road that'll take you to the other side. And these sheep are the only thing on this whole thing that I actually digitized. Oops. But everything else was cut out and or was a professional design. But out there's lots and lots of sheep out in the Brownsville countryside, so I thought that was really appropriate for that area. And then this is a little hill we called Llama Hill. It actually has 3 lumps, but I only made 2. So, and then from there, let's see, this is the house that we live at now. And I meant to put a big white cloud here to kind of make it look separated, you know, the sky, the blue intensities, but I just never did. But Michelle put some clouds in there around my clouds. I just love it. And then look on the hill. It's very detailed. And it feels really cool too. Like she did everything really big and puffy, and she outlined everything, so everything's very puffy. So this is our house on Hayden Bridge Road. Trace has gone to school most of his life here. He's lived here the longest. This is our driveway. I know it kind of looks like it's actually a stand, but it's our driveway and our little garage, and that's our house. And this is the Mackenzie River behind us. And this hill right here, I don't know what it's called, but it's that one right there. So it's a much better view when I'm standing up, but oh, it's starting to get windy. Uh-oh, we just lost a pin. Okay, well, I'll show you the back really quick as best as I can, and then I got to get this thing in here. And my sweet friend, I don't think she noticed, but she put them together upside down when she was quilting them. But we don't care at all. It looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, alrighty. I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that you had fun on my little journey of my son's life. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.